glad you're here. Today we are checking out some shaders for some lower end devices. So some lower end shaders, but if you are enjoying today's video, make sure you smash that like button. Ooh, make sure you smash the like button. If you are new, subscribe. Let's get a 40,000 by the end of the year, please. It would be amazing. Pretty much every shader I have tested out on my old iPad Air 1. So this is about 5 years old. It's a 1 GB RAM. It's pretty old and it's a bit slow, as you can see. Look at that load up time for Minecraft. It takes forever. So pretty much I think I got like 9 or so shaders what should work perfectly fine on lower end devices, since I did test it out on my iPad Air 1. All of them didn't lag, maybe a couple of them lagged a little bit, but it's worth having a gaze at all these shaders, see which one's the best. Anyway, let's jump straight to the shaders. So moving into it, the first shader we are checking out is Pyro Shader, the light version. So this is the low version of Pyro Shader, and it works perfectly fine on my old iPad, and it is pretty good for a low shader. Once you load into it, you will see that it still has that amazing sun reflection. As you can see, loading into it, it does change the water back to the default water. I don't think it's wavy. Nah, so it's pretty much the default water, but if you look up in the sun, it is still the same. As you can see, boom, it's still got that sun flare, which is actually amazing. And of course, it's got the wavy tree effect. For this video though, I'm going to turn off all the, the hide hand and hide HUD, so you don't see any of that nonsense on my screen, so you can kind of get a little bit of a cinematic view while I go through every single one of these shaders here. So if you do want to download them all the links in the description below, of course. If you do want to check any of them out, I do recommend going through them, see which one's your favorite, see which one works the best on your device. I don't want to make this one a long video, so I'll just quickly go through all the shaders and crush through them all, of course. So yeah, that is Pyro Shader, the low version, and let's move on to the next one. So the next one we are checking out is EB Shader. So this one is Enhanced Biomes. Let's load into it and check it out. Ooh. As you can see, loading into it, it has a realistic sky. I don't think the clouds actually move. The sun's pretty nice, and it does have the wavy trees and, you know, leaves and whatnot. It also does change the color of it, which is pretty nice. But if I go to the water, as you can see, boom. On top of the water, you can barely see it, but it does have a nice texture on top of it, which I think is pretty sick. So you can see it's like moving pretty quickly on top of it, which I think is nice. I don't mind this water. And it does have the wavy effect as well, which is always nice in a shader. I know going through these shaders, I'm going to be pretty quick, so I won't change it into nighttime. If you want to have a gaze at it, you can go for it yourself. So I won't be checking out the lighting of the nighttime and all that. I do apologize, and if there is any rain effects or anything, I'm not going to change it to the weather. I'm just going through them all very quickly, hopefully going to make it a quicker video because I am checking out a few shaders. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. So the next one we are checking out is Black Agent Shader. This is the light version. So loading into it, you'll see it's a bit different from the, I guess, the full fleshed out version of Black Agent Shader, but it is the light version, so it does run very well on lower end devices. As you can see, loading into it, it does not change much with the sky. It pretty much keeps the default sky, and I believe the water is a bit darker of a color, which I think is nice, but it doesn't do much more than, it does have the wavy effect though, so that's always nice as well. And of course, as you can see by these lovely moving trees, it does implement the waving tree effect. So the next one we are checking out is Ultramax Shader. So if you do lag like a lot in shaders, then this one's probably the best one for you, because it doesn't change too much drastically, honestly. If I'm being honest, it does not do much in the shader. I think it changes just the lighting, so you might not even see much detail change when I load into it. So as you can see, the skies are pretty much the same, and what would you know? Look at that. It doesn't have a wavy effect on the trees, so if you want to not have a wavy effect, then go ahead and download this shader. So as you can see, if I go into the water though, it does have that nice wavy effect. But sometimes some shaders just don't operate properly for me anyway. If you're on like an iPhone or something, it'll probably work fine. I don't know why, it just does it on my iPad. Anyway, so as you can see, it does have some pretty amazing waves. If it was smooth, it would be pretty amazing waves. If you do want some high looking waves, then go ahead and download this shader, and it's pretty nice. But yeah, other than that, I think this shader pretty much just adds a bunch more realistic lighting, which is pretty cool. So if you got a torch, chuck it out and you'll see a big difference. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. So the next shader we are checking out is Lac. I think that's how you pronounce it, Lac G. So this is some high graphics. Ooh, so it's actually pretty good. So I did test this one out on my iPad Air 1, and I did have slight lag. I won't lie, it did lag a little bit, but it wasn't game-breaking lag because it does implement a few more things. As you can see there, we're loading into Minecraft too. Get around it. So as you can see, loading into it, you can just see the drastic change of the texture, and as you can see, it does have the shadows, and boy, are those trees dark. Ooh, can't hardly see them. As you can see, looking in the sky there, the clouds are looking pretty sick. Look how fast they're moving. That's actually so cool. And it does implement a nice looking sun as well, so that's pretty cool. As you can hear, it does also change a few sounds. So if I go into the water, gotta love those splashing effects. And I'm not sure why, but under the water, all the shadows are just all moving. Absolutely crazy. I don't think it does anything to the... I think the top of the water, as you can see, it does change the texture of it a bit, which is pretty cool. It's not waving or anything, but it does implement a bit more of a, I guess, realistic look on top of the water, which is always nice. So as you can see with the shadows and stuff, it's all different brightness and whatnot. So it's pretty cool shadow. Do recommend checking it out. But anyway, that is pretty much it for this one. Let's move on to the next one. So the next shader we are checking out is Carpet Shader. Anyway, let's jump straight into it. As you can see, loading into the shader here, it does implement some nice clouds, moving clouds as well, which is pretty cool. And it does have a pretty decent sun, as you can see. Ooh. So, of course, once again, as you can see, it does implement the waving trees. It doesn't do anything with the water, unfortunately, but it's still not too bad. It does have some nice shadows and whatnot as well. So if you do want to download it, the link's in the description below. But anyway, let's keep going through all of these and move on to the next one. So the next shader I have actually covered in many videos in the past, but I just want to show you that it still works in 1.13 Edge shader, and it does not lag on my older iPad Air 1, so it is a lower end device shader, which is very nice. I just want to show it off because the water is pretty different in it, I guess you could say. As you can see, loading into it. So it does implement a realistic looking water on top of it, as you can see, and it does also have that sun reflection on top of it, which is pretty nice as well. And in the sky, you can see a bit of cloud, and it does have that nice looking sun as well, which is pretty cool. I just wanted to show off this shader because it does work in 1.13. So the next shader we are checking out is Realistic World Shader. As you can see there, boom, check out the creator CG gameplay on YouTube. But anyway, let's load into it. So this shader is actually pretty cool. I do like this one a lot. So as you can see, loading into it, it has that nice color, and the water as well does have that nice texture on top of it as well, as you can see. So it does implement the wavy trees as well with some nice shadows. So if you do want to check it out, go ahead and check it out. It doesn't do much with the sky though. As you can see, the clouds are still the same and the sun's still there. Ooh, nice and blocky. So the last shader we are checking out is X Vision. So this one as well, I did try it on my iPad Air 1 and I lagged a little bit. Like not much, but just a little bit. So it is still playable. That's why I'm including it in this video. But this shader is pretty nice. If I load into it, you will see. So as you can see, loading into it, it does implement that realistic looking sun. As you can see, boom, very nice indeed. Not sure what's going on there, but as you can see, it does implement a realistic looking water. So it does have that sun reflection on top of it, which is pretty cool. And if I can, you know, we're just going to change it to daytime. So it does implement some nice looking skies as well. And it does have the wavy trees. And as you can see by the water, it is very nice. But anyway, if you did want to download any of these shaders, all the links in the description below. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I shall see you in the next video, and peace.